Yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if I can get a mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Yo, 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 yo. What up? What up? What up? What's happening? You can hear me? Warren, what up, man? Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Cool. All right, because I got this microphone right here. Superseding. All right. So yeah. What's good, everybody? What's happening, man? I just wanted to chime in real fast, check the temperature, man. Say what's up to y'all. Happy Valentine's Day. That was yesterday. And kick the breeze with y'all for a little second before I go upstairs and go grab a bite to eat. And yeah, man. I really just want to do what up, Ernest. Just really wanted to do a quick Q&A real fast, man. So you know. Yeah. So if y'all got something, man, let's have a quick session real fast, man. What y'all working with out here? It could be Astro. Hey. What's up, sis? It could be Astro. I chimed in and picked up another quick little real estate check. Yeah, what was that? Yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday. You know what I mean? Yeah, let me know. What you got? What y'all got cooking, man? What's good? What's going on? That sounds super loud in my headphones. Yeah, but anything on the Q&A? Planetary placements, astrology, real estate, philosophy, mind science, you name it. Nope, we're straight. All right. So what house is this retrograde in? So yeah, Mercury retrograde officially starts tomorrow. The house, you got to remember, a house is really a direction in space when you were born. So that's a two-part question. If we're going to look at the official time of the retrograde, it's still going to be relative to when it starts in reference to where you are. Because the house is really a direction in space. Is it the eastern portion of the sky, the south, the north, the west? And so it starts in Pisces. Mercury retrograde starts in Pisces. So you have to see where is Pisces at when you were born. What house is that for you? Because that's going to be the area of space that Mercury retrograde is going to begin at for you in your personal life. You see what I'm saying? And so you have to know where is Pisces at for you as an individual. All right. From your knowledge, what are the things someone with Saturn sextile Sun transit experience? Opportunity. So the sextile is an opportunity that you have to work for, right? Saturn's involved. It definitely wants some work. And so Saturn's energy is really about some type of advancement, authoritative figures when you're dealing with both the Sun and Saturn, because this is the classic Jesus and Satan. So both of these energies are authoritative figures. So at the sextile represents an opportunity for ideas and career matters to crystallize so one can be successful. So I would really be showing off right now and putting my best foot forward inside of work and things of that nature, because there's some form of opportunity and advancement for you. And so that's how I would use that for sure. What's up with the polar shift that the occult conspiracy family talking about a reset? Man, I ain't even heard nothing about it, and I don't even get me started with these conspiracy nuts. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me turn this little heater off. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. We gonna come on. Say you want action. All right, cool. All right, so I don't know if that was loud to y'all, but the way this sounds loud on my headphones. So yeah, I don't know nothing about no polar shift. It's not to say that it's not no polar shift. I really don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not aware of it. I just don't know. I'll leave it at that. I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got it, Warren. It's all good, man. What's going on, man? What's that Michigan game tapping in Inktown? What's happening, man? Man, yeah. Michigan been pulling me for a minute, man. I need to get up to the D. I think that's some good real estate opportunities up there, man. And still need to be explored, you know. Yeah, you're welcome, sis. Yeah. Let me go pull up when this retrograde thing is actually. I know it goes in effect, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow, which is my birthday. So I'm bringing out a retrograde this year. Where is the? I can go with stations, right? I think I can get away with it. No, I can't. Where is the retrograde? I think it's this station report. Here we go. Yeah, Mercury retrograde starts tomorrow or at 3:42 a.m. And I got this. What's this? Yeah, this is 3:42 a.m. Eastern. Yeah. 28 degrees. No. It's gonna stop at 28. It's actually going to start. Mercury station it enters the zone stationary retrograde. Yeah, it's gonna start at 12 degrees Pisces. So it's gonna start to 12 Pisces, and then it's going to look like it's going back to 28 degrees Aquarius. I thought it was a screen share thing that YouTube had, man, because that would be super dope if I can share my screen with y'all and actually show y'all what's taking place. So the best I could do, because you hear this stuff, man. Mary's apple tree, what's up? The best you can understand. Oh, that's a good one, Katrina. I'm gonna come to that to y'all. You would hear people talking about, oh, the planet look like it's traveling backwards, but there's different ways that you can see that. Like when you say traveling backwards, like if something is going counterclockwise, when you say traveling backwards, do all of a sudden it look like it's going clockwise now? Or what do you mean traveling backwards? And I think we have the misconception of it. I even know how I was taught it when I was reading this information, as if you were like on a highway and both cars are next to each other, and as you pass the car next to you, look like that car is going backwards, right? Or if you ever looked at the wheel of the car next to you, all of a sudden you see it spinning, and then it look like it's stopping, and it goes backwards. The best way to I can explain what the Mercury retrograde is, what it really is I want you to imagine a wall clock. In this wall clock, this circle is the solar system. And we're all God looking at our creation, the solar system, which is a circle, but we're going to say it's a wall clock. Okay. Now, let's say that Mercury is at 12 o'clock on the wall clock. And then tomorrow, it looks like it's at 11, then it's at 10, then it's at 9. So from our original observation, which is 12 o'clock, it looked like, and let's just say we're at 6 o'clock looking at this whole thing, it looked like it's coming towards us. So it's 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Then when it gets to 5, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. It looked like it's going back towards 12 o'clock. 4, 3, it's like, oh, wait, whoa, that's weird. It was just coming towards us. But now when we look at it, it look like it's going back towards the original point of observation. That's a Mercury retrograde. Now, as Mercury is traveling around the sun, did Mercury ever stop and go in reverse around the sun? No, it did not. So we're talking about at one moment it was coming towards us, and then the next moment it went away from us. Okay, that's a retrograde. All right. So this we all know is a time that represents Mercury retrogrades represent miscommunications. Dot your I's, cross your T's. I'm selling the property and the title company, I forgot to tell them, but miscommunication. The title company had the wrong LLC, the wrong state that the business is registered in. And then I had to correct them. So potentially I could have got my check going when we do that. I could have got my check, could have been wired on Friday. Now it's pushing me into next week, and Monday is the holiday, right? Because it's the eve of the retrograde, not dotting my I's and crossing my T's and paying attention. Went ahead and had the paperwork printed, already had the notary thing set up and everything, and taking time out the day and didn't even catch that little mistake, right? So it's a time of miscommunication is likely possible. Now, the question to really ask ourselves is, why is it that when this planet, because what's happening is the planet is passing between the Earth and the sun, right? Because it's the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth. So when Mercury is coming in between us, at one moment, Mercury was coming towards us. And then it's like, okay, now I'm about to go back towards the sun. That means it's passing by us. And that's a Mercury retrograde. Mercury and Venus retrogrades are when Mercury and Venus are passing by the Earth. So if we had some cool glasses and we could block out the light of the sun, we'd be able to see these planets passing by us. So that's a Mercury retrograde. So it's like I call it a cosmic tunnel effect. A cosmic tunnel effect is when the planet is passing by, and it's kind of like that commercial where the truck goes down the road and it blows off the hat of the passenger or the pedestrian rather, that's outside. It's a cosmic tunnel effect that's passing by, and it has an effect on electronics, communications, and things of that nature. It's just very true, right? All right, so that's Mercury retrograde, and Pisces represents the imagination. But I'm more concerned. Forget the signs. I'm really more concerned about the house that it takes place in for you when you were born, because now it's going to be personal. And this is what I mean. Pisces for me, that's the part of career and success. Okay. It also, well, I ain't gonna expose too much, but it's career and success. And it's going to come back into my 9th house, which is the house of philosophies and traveling and studying information. So this would possibly be a time that, because the 10th house is public, out in the public domain, this may be the time for me to revise things that I've been doing that's been in the public domain, whether it be the website or whether it be certain structures in business, something that already exists, but I'm just redoing it and tuning it up at this time so it can be successful, right? And so you really want to pay attention to where is 12 degrees Pisces in your birth chart, because that area is space. Because if it's in your 7th house, that's relationships. Then you're about to go through potentially some miscommunication in relationships. And you should not start relationships in a retrograde. Unless you was born in a retrograde, you probably can get away with it. Because the laws state that the communication is definitely going to be, there's going to be an issue between the parties. Now, I've tried and I have tried and I have tried, and I'm a thorough believer of our decisions are what's creating karma anyway. So therefore, we should have the ability to say, hey, you and I both know that this is a retrograde and communication can be choppy. But since we know this, you and I have to do our best to say, hey, this is our plan. If things were to get a little, screwed up between us, this is our safety precaution plan, that we both say time out and say, hey, remember that we talked about this would happen. And then we have to laugh at it because we already knew it was a possibility, because we never planned for the mishaps and the miscommunications. I like to try to go against those things, but there's times where it just don't work. You know what I mean? And the other party don't know nothing about it, and sometimes that could be the error in that. But it's advised that new relationships, you want to give it some time and see if it's really going to mature into something else, because oftentimes they don't last long. And then old people start coming back into your life and do some form of communication as well, right? People you ain't heard from in a long time. So stuff like that. All right. So Katrina asked, what is a yod in a birth chart, right? And so the yod is just a Hebrew letter that represents the hand. All right. I'm gonna pull one up real fast. All right. So let's see if we can see. If y'all should type in y'all birth chart and go to images so you can see what it look like. And it's a pretty cool, I don't know what kind of triangle is this, a scalene maybe, I forget, but it looked like it's 120 and 60 degrees at the bottom. It's that kind of triangle. And the unique thing is known as the finger of God. Okay. And so let's just throw up the rock, but it's not an equilateral triangle like a pyramid, 120, 120, and 120 is not that. It's 120, 120, and 60. Okay. So it's you got to do a Google image so you can see the geometry of it. And so what happens is the 60 degree, the little small part of the triangle, all of these 3 points. Remember, when it's a triangle in the chart, it says, hey, this planet is here at this point. This planet is at the right base and this planet is at the left base. And, and they're all communicating to each other. Hence, that's what the line is. So you have to see the line like there's some type of communication that's taking place. The unique thing about astro.com is it's color coded. So the blue lines represent opportunities and easy flow of energy, and the red lines represent drama and friction. And even the dotted green line can represent some mid friction, and the dotted blacks are they're mild and minor. I don't even count them. So the major aspects are green and blue. I'm sorry, red and blue, and the mild is green and the minor is dotted black. Okay. And so the yard says, hey, we all have something in common here. We're clicking. This is the opportunity. We can make something pop right here. This finger of God, we can pointing at something. Let's do something. And because remember the thing that little triangle, because it got a skinny base, real short base and long sides, that is pointing at something. And so that point that is pointing to the base represents the opportunity, but the opportunity to do what? The opportunity to channel the energy to what it's pointing to. So you need to pay attention to, here's the kicker, the house placements of the yard, because that's going to represent the area of your life. And then what it's pointing to, which is the area of your life as well. So you want to pay attention to the house placements. Now, I like to strip energy down to its rawest form of just elemental energies, right? The base of it is going to be, it should be something of complementary nature. So fire and air, okay, could be the base of it. And then the top is going to potentially point to something, that's of, like I said, it's going to point to something that is complementary as well. And so figure out what it's pointing to. And then you can just get straight to that, because that's where it's at. That's where it's popping at. Okay. Straight to it. So Google image yard astrology chart, and when you look at what it's pointing at, and if you have one of those in your chart, then you need to activate that for sure. You know what I mean? Because see, at the bottom are the base of it. The base could be like, I'm looking at one Aquarius. Let's see, they cheating. That's late. Because sometimes the signs, it's all about the degrees and not necessarily the signs. That's why you want to pay attention to the house that this energy is in. Because the general rule could be Capricorn and Scorpio. But that's a general rule. If you have something in early Aquarius, let's just say 0 degrees Aquarius, you're right next door to 29 degrees Capricorn. You see what I'm saying? And Scorpio to Capricorn is a good look, but Scorpio to Aquarius is a square. That's a challenge, energy wise. But the degree that's separating the two is picking up a degree that's saying, wait a minute, we supposed to be cool, because we only about 60 degrees away from each other. But sign wise, we don't really funk like that. You see what I'm saying? We don't mesh too well. And so you gotta know, this is why I'm saying this thing is a science in a sense, right? So you gotta know the little technicalities, but for sake of argument, and let's say everything was even, Capricorn to Scorpio is opportunity of the feminine quality, dealing with earth matters, career matters, meditation matters, joint finances. And then it's pointing to something. You see what I'm saying? And, whatever that's pointing to, then you can make it happen. All right. And so I hope that explains it. Just figure out what it's pointing to and make it happen. You know what I mean? All right. So it's pointing to the moon in Pisces in the 3rd house. Man, that's my favorite moon placement. I love that moon, man. That's the best place. I think the moon in Pisces, they could be mad at me when I say this, it's more stronger than the moon at home in Cancer. But the Pisces, that's Michael Jackson's moon, but that's a very psychic, intuitive moon. I ain't never met a Piscean moon person who didn't have a strong sense of intuition and whatnot. What's up, Samara? What's happening? So yeah, it's pointing to in the third house. That means you got something to say. You got psychic vibes. There's something that you have to tell. There's a strong sense of imagination that you can write. You can write stories, movies, music, poetry. There's something that you have to say, that you got to get it out. So the question becomes, Katrina, what is your story? What is your blog? What is it? Because you holding on to something. Everybody has a story. Everybody's not necessarily, and we tell stories in different ways. So some of us can tell it through our work, in a sense, but you have a story that you need to verbally express or write it down, or it's like blog, speaking, something. You got to get it out of you. What is it? All right, that was a good question, man. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else y'all got, man? Shoot it to me. Mary's apple tree. What you got for me, man? What you got? Me and Mary's apple tree was building. I was like, I'm about to do this live. I was thinking in my head, then I get this phone call. Then I'm like, I'm just about to do a live. There's some good questions for a live because I feel like being in Q&A mode. But yeah, what y'all got? Yeah, you're welcome. Yep. Anybody got anything? Boom, 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 boom. About to ride out. So is a cradle similar? What's a cradle? Now, I ain't never heard of no cradle. I have to look that up. What's a cradle? Cradle. What's a cradle? I'm not familiar with the cradle unless it's everything sitting in like a certain spot type of thing. But what's a cradle? It may be an isosceles triangle. It may be. I forget. When I start messing with my children's math, it all start clicking. Degrees and how that affects the chart. Is that you meant by 1 degree and 1 day apart or something different? No, the days, the day apart. It's not. I'm not talking about days, because the only thing that's moving 1 degree a day is the sun. That's it. Everything else has its own laws of motion, because the moon moves 13 degrees a day, right? So the only thing that's moving 1 degree today is the sun. So I'm not talking about that. And so what happens is, take for example, I'm a 27 degree Aquarius. Aquarius is supposed to get along with Sagittarius. So somebody is a 27 degree Sagittarius and I'm a 27 degree Aquarius, we get along because that's a perfect 60 degree angle, which is known as a sextile, which represents opportunity, right? But it's 30 degrees in the zodiac sign. So what happens if someone is like watch this, a 27 degree Scorpio, and we square each other strictly to the 90 degree, but they 27 degree Scorpio. It's a 90 degree angle. In 3 more days, they're going to be a 0 degree Sagittarius. That 0 degree Sagittarius still squares my sun by mathematical geometrical angle. So although you a Sag, I'm a late Aquarius. To me, as an Aquarius, that feel like you more of the you too close to Scorpio. And in your field, I'm too close to Pisces because Pisces in Sagittarius is a square because I'm 3 days away from Pisces. You see what I'm saying? And so these general rules can go out of the window if these orbs happen that way, because I'm so high up, I'm so late, and you're so early that is picking up the rules of the actual angle that's connecting us. This is why you got to pay attention to the connectors. See, years ago, I figured out a compatibility program, and I would show y'all what it on paper what it looked like. I ain't gonna tell y'all what magic I use. However, you got to do an old school XY axis. Okay. Also, I taught it in one of these classes. So let's just hypothetically, I ain't gonna tell you which ones I use, but I'll write it down like this. Okay. And so it's an old school XY axis. 1, 2, 3, 4 horizontal. Horizontal, I always make that the woman in the chart. That's the female energy. And I'm talking energy, and so I got to be dealing with genders. And then the horizontal going down 1, 2, 3, 4 is the man. Now I'm looking at, for just the sake of simplicity, I'm looking at 4 things that these people have in common. So his 4 to her 4. So 4 times 4 is 16 possible combinations. And what you need to know is, this is called a synastry chart. When you compare your energy to somebody else's energy, let's say 1 to 1, my first thing that I'm looking at, let's say I'm looking at the sun, because my sun sign is important. Your sun sign is important. What's the relationship of my sun to your sun? Well, this is a square. Oh shit, that's negative. Okay. What's my relationship of my sun to, let's say, your moon? That's positive. They're in the same spot, right? I'm Aquarius. You born with an Aquarius moon. Shit, girl, we get along. This is dope, right? So that's positive. And then what starts to happen is you start to develop these patterns by learning how to read aspects. So then what you could do is you can take your grid and say, wait a minute, my 1 to your 1, let's say my 1 is the sun, in reference to your sun is a square. That's negative. That's negative energy. So therefore, what I can do is count up how many negative energies we have and positive energies that we have. And this is going to determine the relationship. Now, this is where it gets geeky and it really gets fun for me. This gets me excited, because now when you're working with this kind of data, you can actually convert this over into a pattern. Yes. And so if you remember the XY axis in school, then it could be the first connection is negative, so you'll go down 1. The second connection is positive, so now you'll come back up. So really you at 0. So remember, on the vertical x-axis is 0, then +1, +2, +3, and then at the bottom under 0 is -1, -2, -3, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to count our number of interactions going across. And so what happens is we get a pattern. So my sun to your sun, negative. That's now -1. My sun to your moon, positive. Now we back up at 0. Let's say my sun to your Saturn, that's positive. So now we at +1. So now we start to develop an up and down pattern, up and down, unless all of our energy is all the way down, or if our energy is all the way up. Usually you're going to see up and down, up and down. And so I never forget when I discovered this. It's like it's sitting right there in front of our face. First of all, I just like patterns and stuff. And I did me and Jew, because you can do this with anybody. And me and his energy look like a check mark, right? It goes like up, one down and then like 6 up, just straight up from that. It's like it's a check mark. It literally looks like that. And I said, damn, that's how it feels too. Like we click. Like we've been rocking since what, 2010. We ain't never ever got into a dispute. Now we can disagree about philosophy or something of that matter. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't never been in no, man, ain't talking to you, fuck you. We ain't never ever, it's never been nowhere near nothing like that. And that's when I looked at the energy. I said, oh, that explains it. The energy is just all the way up, like Joe say, right? It's just all the way up. So now you can start to develop patterns when you can see. And then the dope thing about it is we don't have to get in relationships without knowing here's the kicker, the energetic signature. You see what I'm saying? That's the key. I got you, Sean. What is the energetic signature of a relationship? Because with these energies, you can isolate them. That became dope because energy is a two-way street. Here's the thing, either cosmically speaking, either you're going to have a female relationship. A female relationship is Venus, the moon. So if you got more connection, like Jay-Z and Beyonce got this connection. He was born with Venus in the sky, was in the same place where the moon was when Beyonce was born, and vice versa. When Beyonce was born, Venus in the sky is in the same position in space where the moon was when Jay-Z was born. So they have this swap of energy of Venus and the moon, and it makes it a feminine relationship. When I say feminine, I'm not talking about girly. I'm talking about feminine relationship is about meditation, softness, receiving information. Jay-Z ain't necessarily your loud mouth, even his voice. He ain't no loud mouth macho man. It's I told my wife the spiritual shit really work. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. That when he said that right there, right? And so now you either have a feminine relationship, a masculine relationship, Mars, Sun, Saturn, right? Or it's a mixture. Her female energy is rocking with your masculine energy, or it's a role reversal. Her masculine energy is rocking with your female energy. Here's an example of a role reversal. If a woman, Aries women, because I was born with Venus and Aries, which Venus is known as the feminine factor, the goddess, right? But a woman who's an Aries means the sun is an Aries, and sun represents Apollo, the masculine figure, the masculine energy of outward expression. Although she's Aries, she's a woman, but she's energetic. Usually Aries women is like Juju, Cameron's ex-girl, right? Like Aries women is, yo, let me get up. I'm on my shit. Let's go conquer the world. Like my partner's wife is an Aries. She's my favorite business partner. Like she get up and I like the type that's like, hey, you got XYZ. And like, as soon as I got her, she'd do it on the spot because she's so busy. If she don't do it on the spot, it's not going to get done. And those that like, I love that because it gets done on the spot. Right. And so that Aries energy, the sun is in the same place where my female energy is at, Venus. So now that means her masculine principle is occupying the same space as my female principle. So if we were to come together in a relationship, what could happen? She could be the one that's leading because usually the yang energy is the one that's active. Leading meaning get up and let's go. Right now, had I had not had fire energy when I was born, I could be a little bit more receptive. That would put me in a position that, oh, she's the go-getter. She's the entrepreneur. The female energy is supposed to nurture that. So now ain't no problem. I'll keep your books for you, meaning your numbers and whatnot. I'll be your assistant. I'll be at your table bagging up stuff, swiping the credit card while you pump your brand, boo. Do you? That's what a positive role reversal looks like. A negative role reversal looks like this. Her sun is in Aries and my moon is in Libra, and that's in opposition. Her masculine principle is in opposition to my female principle. So see, we think we like people because like you gotta really understand what I'm telling y'all. Like we be like, oh, when the stars align. And yes, but you have to understand that the angle of the alignment denotes whether it's positive or negative. These are the connecting binding forces. Okay. The angle is the binding force that's pulling us together. But now there's a way called aspects, squares, trines, oppositions, conjunctions in the nature of the planet involved can now give us insight into if this is a positive or negative connection. Again, I use the example. That's why on this channel, I got Jay-Z and Beyonce pinned because look, Virgo and Sagittarius, both of them are like 10 degrees, 10 to 11 degrees of their zodiac sign. What, she's 9-4, he's 12-4. So that's like the fourth day is like the 11th day of a zodiac sign. So he's like 11 degrees Sagittarius and she's 11 degrees Virgo. Virgo and Sag don't mix. But the general rule that can go out the window if her Venus in the sky is in the same place where his moon was 12 years prior, because he's about 12 years older than her, and vice versa, like I just said. So now that's a plus to one negative. And this plus is outweighing that negative. You see what I'm saying? Because that would give it a net score of +1. You see what I'm saying? And so a negative role reversal, she now feel like she does, like, I go out, I go to work, he at home, he playing the video game all day, and like and I ain't this nigga mama. You know how it is. That's like, we grew up in that culture, like, oh, you know, she the go-getter, and then he don't like it. He's intimidated by you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a homegirl, my Airbnb manager, Aries, just you know, run Airbnbs, work out. Like, she's an Aries. She get up early, she go get it. She gone all day at thrift store shopping, decorating Airbnbs. Like, you know, she's no nonsense, very intelligent, like very super intelligent. And like, you know, she's intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Because she has masculine energy, not masculine like I'm a man, masculine as, yo, yang, I'm getting out and I'm about to go make it happen. So when it's a role reversal, when it's a negative energy that's connecting the two, the woman don't respect the man because he's not meeting her on the level of her energy, where she's at. Trust me when I tell you that. When it's congruent, he can fall in line and he can, like I said, he can be at the table. You know what I mean? Yo, I'm swiping credit cards, I'm bagging, I'm actually promoting you. I'm like your assistant. I'm your partner, but you the lead person. I ain't got no problem with you being up front, boo. Go ahead. You see what I'm saying? And that's how that rolls. All right. So yeah, you start to see these patterns, and then you isolate the energy, because if it's a female relationship, it should be about meditation, listening, and nurturing, walking barefooted on the earth, breathing together, picnics, things like that to denote you got to do a physical exercise that mirrors the energetic signature of the relationship. If it's yang, let's go work out, let's ride bikes, let's sweat, let's go get up, let's go get this paper, because yang energy needs to get up and let's go. It has to physically exhaust itself. It don't want to meditate. It needs to physically sweat it out. Great sex, exercise, let's go get it. Don't mean that the feminine signs don't want great sex. I'm just saying it has to sweat it out. Okay. Then when it's a balance of the two, then, you know, her female energy, she respects his man energy. Now, see, this is interesting in heterosexual relationships, and it don't really matter the type of relationship. But if the woman has, let's just say again, her female energy, the position of her moon, let's say her moon is in Aries, and his yang energy, he's a Libra, her female energy is clashing with his male energy. So really, she don't like the way that he leads. You see what I'm saying? Because it's his male energy, and it's something that he ain't really vibing with either. The problem is these connections that we have. It's like a movie. It's like, oh shit, we in the club. Damn, she fine. Damn, I've been looking at her all night. She's been looking at me. Damn. And it's that magnetic pull of the planets that's aligned, that's permeating through you, that got us linking. And then we come together, and then we don't know what the nature of it is until time goes on. And you don't like the fact that I keep pissing on the toilet seat. That burns you up. You know what I'm saying? You don't like the fact that I snore. Whatever it is, you start to figure out these agitations and whatnot, because the agitation is just a mirror of the actual law to show you this. You see what I'm saying? So this shit is phenomenal. And I'm telling you, it's some phenomenal stuff to absolutely know. All right. So I may do something one day on it again, you know what I mean? And, show you how to do it. All right. So Sean had a question. You had something about Mercury earlier. All right. So does Mercury play a huge role in my life? I'm Libra Mercury. So when you say I'm Libra Mercury, Mercury is in front of the constellation Libra when you're born. Scorpio Sun. Um, Rising is Pisces. No, Scorpio Sun and Rising. Okay, Pisces Moon. Oh shit. Damn, that's damn, man. I think that's dope, man. I think you may be a great intuitive person as well, man. When you Scorpio Sun and Rising and got a water moon, so your moon is in a harmonious position elemental wise because Pisces and Scorpio are both water signs. So your moon is in a nice communication with the sun and your rising sign, and usually I would say great intuition. Um, for sure. But Mercury being in Libra, simply just meaning, relationships. So the position of Mercury simply shows us how we think, how we process things. In fact, it was even said that that's actually the first thing you should look at, because you want to look at the mindset of a person. But a chart tells a lot of stories. Usually it's a main story that it tells, but the planet Mercury is something to be considered because of the because it represents your mindset, what you're thinking about. So Mercury in Libra deals with relationships. Your mind is dealing with something in relationships, partnerships. It could be marriage, close friendships, business as well, but it's a partnership mind for sure. And then being Scorpio is about joint partnerships and sex. So that those two energies, Scorpio and Libra, they're heavily relationship orientated and whatnot. So relationships are very important to you. All right. So I will say always mind them. Very important. All right. Now I have more of an understanding about Morgan and this observer calls. Oh yeah. So now I have to get the birthdays and time. All right, cool. I am Cancer. Husband is Aquarius. Right. So that's funny because I'm an Aquarius, Cancer rising. So technically the signs don't get along. But again, I guarantee you there's some other things that make the union worthy of being married. Guaranteed. And so that's just a sun sign placement. All right. So guarantee it's like DJ Envy. He's a Virgo and his wife Gia is an Aquarius. That don't click, but I guarantee you that there is absolutely something else that's taking place. Hold on one second, y'all. Never know. Anpu speaking. Hey, Gloria. Hey, I'm doing a Facebook Live right now. Can I give you a buzz back? No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna give you a buzz back. Okay. All right. Peace. Yeah. That's a real estate call, man. Yeah. I love y'all for me not to take a real estate thing. All right. Zigzagger, what up? What up? What up? I gotta get better at knowing my chart. Oh, yeah. It's your cosmic placements, man. It'll come to you. How do I start tracking my info? I'm Leo 814. My wife is Sag, right? So Leo and Sag is fire. So that elemental wise, the signs get along. Elemental wise. I mean, you from the beginning, like if you really a no voice and at the very beginning stages, it don't even matter if you're not at the beginning stages. A book that you have to have is Planets in Transit by Robert Hand. Like that's a freaking must. Because you can, even though he's talking about the planets when they move through the signs, you can just say, well, wait a minute, I'm a Scorpio and I got the sun in Scorpio. So now you can go look and say what do he say when the sun goes through the 8th house, because the 8th house is Scorpio. So this is what it means to have the sun in the 8th. Oh, okay. So like I got Venus in Aries. So I can go look at Venus. Venus transits through the 1st house because Aries represents the 1st house. So now I can go look and see what he says about Venus transit through the 1st house and get a definition of that. Or I got Mars conjunct the moon. I was born with that. Mars conjunct Mercury, Mars conjunct moon. So I can go look at Mars conjunct the moon, and then I can get a definition of what that means. So Planets in Transits by Robert Hand. like HAND. And the self-activation workbook on the website, myastrologycoach.com, because it's talking about your chart and whatnot. And run those two together and practice with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because they ask you some questions. How many planets you got in the 8th house? What do that mean to you? And start telling your cosmic story. All right. So I will start with those two. Once you get a Robert Hand understanding, like, I don't read nothing. I ain't read astrology stuff in years. Because once you get the basic components down, it's just edged in memory. But I don't look at other interpretations outside of Robert Hand. That's one person who I greatly respect. His interpretations are different than mine, but they correlate, and sometimes they be the same thing. Like Mercury opposite Mercury is that's a code red on travel. So again, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant was Mercury on Mercury opposite Mercury rather. Man, we saw what happened. So planets in transit. That's where you want to start at. And don't let nobody. I said it and I did, but it's all good because he's young and I let him get it. But that's a book that I know you can't borrow that book. Sorry, but I've done it. You know what I mean? It's because I really love the kid who I gave it to. Much younger, at the time he was only like 17. You know what I mean? So I gave it to him. I'll get another one. I haven't got another one yet. All that time has been about 3 years now. But yep, I'll start right there. All right. So I was just gonna stay to 8. And I gotta make dinner. But I take another one. I'll take this real estate call again too. Y'all better learn this wholesale real estate, man. Stop playing around, man. I just checked the little 3K. I like 5-digit checks, man. And you get spoiled when you start getting 5-digit checks, and then you get a $3,000 check. I know people who won't even do a deal if it ain't 5 digits, and I totally understand why. I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? But this particular deal was like, and it ain't bad for me just walking up the street and saw the homeowner, and just introduced myself. And we started talking. It happened to realize that we both in the same real estate association. And then I was like, man, you probably can get 60 for this house. And then next thing you know, 2 days later, he's like, you really think I can get 60? I want to sell it, man. And I'm like, really? Like, yeah. I said, well, come on, man, let's do it. Let me put it in contract. Since he already knows as a real estate investor that the wholesale thing, I tell him, man, I got buyers, I'm gonna wholesale it, and end up getting it at 50 in contract. And in my contract, dig this, I said that the assignee, the person who I'm assigning my contract to, who is my partner, I just don't know who that partner is yet, because I got several people, several buyers. They're going to be the one responsible for paying a deposit. And he agreed. He actually had his attorney look it over, and the attorney didn't even give me no kickback on it. So now I'm telling you, I'm not coming out my pocket on a deposit. Who I assign it to is going to come out their pocket. So now I got it in contract with no money out of my pocket, and brung a buyer, charged a buyer $3,000, sold my rights to the contract for $3K, and bam, like easiest $3,000 in the world, man, for real. You know what I'm saying? So learn it. It can help you in your life, man, for real. All right. So how do you deal with or interpret intercepted houses? So intercepted signs, really, because the sign will not fall on the house cuss. All right. So Katrina is like going way in. All right. Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope, Sean. Man, you know what I'm saying? And two, man, just make sure too, man, that you always see women for who they really are, not what you want them to be. Because with the Piscean influence, Pisces could be delusional. That's everybody's delusional factor. And the moon here could be a delusional woman, a woman on drugs, a woman who's a liar, or a woman who's a secret enemy in a sense. So just make sure you see people for who they are, and get mad that, don't get mad because they ain't living up to your potential. You knew what they were, but you decided to define them by their potential versus reality. Now it's okay as long as you don't trick your own self into really believing that, well, you're supposed to be this. And, no. You knew what it was. You just chose to ignore it because it's the high side that Aquarius and Pisces got this thing about being on the high side of reality. So just make sure you see people for who they really are. Work on your intuition. If it's the woman in your life that deals with spirituality and meditation and music, things of that nature, let's just call it the spiritual nature. That's where it really gets good, and the positive aspect of that energy really starts to rain into your life. All right. So how do you deal with or interpret intercepted houses? I keep studying it. I don't know because I have Sagittarius and Gemini intercepted in the 6 and the 12. So what Katrina is saying is, when you look at a birth chart, every zodiac sign will fall on a house number. So you know how the birth chart looks. It's a circle, and then it has like 12 slices of pizza, and the inner part of the wheel is going to be numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then no matter the zodiac sign will be on house number 1. Then another zodiac sign will be on house number 2. But sometimes what happens is there 2 zodiac signs will have house 1 and 2, or house 3 and 4. Like a zodiac sign can have 2 houses going to it, which means the sign opposite is going to have the opposite houses going to it. So that's going to leave a pair, another 2 signs. It's like, well, wait a minute, hold on. I ain't got my own house. What's up with that? That's an interception. I don't have my own house. I'm thinking from my own experience, since it's intercepted, those areas or those signs in a sense are something that has to be developed more and paid more close attention to, because the interception mean in football, that mean I stole it from you, I took it from you. And so now it can represent a loss because they're sitting out there like, wait a minute, I don't have my space. Everybody else got this space, but this one pair over here, they got 2 of them. What's up with that? You see what I'm saying? So maybe those sign placements / house placements as well is something that you have to work a little bit harder to get to develop. It's naturally going to fall in the house. You know what I'm saying? But the sign itself is not falling on one of the house numbers. You definitely asking questions where people have to see the chart, because I can see how people be like, what the hell are they talking about? You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, y'all just got to do the research and do the Google image thing and see what, intercept the houses astrology and see what it looks like. And read up on it. So I'm thinking more of development, and there's definitely one of those signs that's intercepted. In fact, I'm living that shit. There's one of those signs that's intercepted in the 6th house, and I so desperately want to work with this person, but I swear we just don't freaking mesh when it comes to work. We mesh in some other areas, but when it comes to work, it's like, forget about it. Forget about it. Just forget about it. You know what I mean? So definitely through reflection, it's hard. It's hard to develop because it's intercepted. You don't have one. And so since it's in my 6th house, it's like no love with that particular outcome. All right. So my sun and Venus are in Cancer, but in Gemini house. So are you saying your sun and Venus are in Cancer, but Cancer is on your 3rd house? But you're missing, somebody's missing something. There's a sign that don't naturally fall. All right, do this real fast for me, Katrina. See, yours is in the 6th too? Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, give me your birthday. So, all right, so now you got to ask yourself, now, are any of those signs in your life? And do you see any conflict with those signs that are intercepted? In Synastry, astrology, my partner Venus sits on my 12th house. Can you explain what that means? All right, so your partner's Venus. I like that marker. Venus is exalted in Pisces, so the 12th house is the area of space that rules Pisces. So Venus in ancient astrology actually ruled Pisces. I would have to have the time and city of birth too to get the direct angle. So I like Venus and Pisces. Venus and Pisces, or Venus on the 12th. This could be a very artistic situation where both the people could enjoy theater, arts, fine dining, spiritual matters. This, to me, to get the high side of this energy, this relationship, y'all need to go to Sedona, Arizona. Y'all need to go to Boynton Canyon, where my man always put these little heart from the red rocks. He makes these hearts out of them and gives them out. But y'all need to go to like spiritual vortexes together, musical concerts together, yoga together, meditation together. It's a deep appreciation and a spiritual bond that should be there. Now, and this is the key, it has to sit directly on it. Now, the more closer that it is to the actual house, I find this to be more penetrating than planets on planets. Like the houses are very sensitive because you're really taking 360 degrees of space and then you're saying, hey, this point right here, out of 360 degrees, 9 degrees Aquarius is this. This starts this. And then somebody was born with something at 9 degrees. Like the house is a gateway into a different area of your life. So somebody have a planet that's sitting directly on the gateway. It's like, oh shit, you're going to feel that. And so the high side is the things I just said. The negative side, because it's a relationship, in the 12th house is lies, secret enemies. You can't see it clearly. So now that means you can't see your partner for who they really are, because the 12th house has this fog associated with it. As long as y'all vibing on these higher principles, everything should be well. So I would like to see, musical concerts in Sedona, Arizona within this kind of union when Venus is on the 12th house. Because the 12th house is spirituality and imagination. So you want to make sure that the partnership, Venus, you want to make sure that the partnership is actively engaging the imagination on the highest level possible. Because the 12th house represents the 12th grade. This is completion here. So that's how I see that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful placement. As long as the consciousness of the individuals are there. It's always the determining factor, the quality of the mindset, right? All right. So if it is intercepting, it is half to one and half to the other, or the person is not disposed to all the characteristics because of the contradiction in particular areas of personalities. Excuse me. I would agree. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I would agree. Yeah. I would agree with that. Yes, Venus used to rule Pisces. So remember that you can't see planets past Saturn. You need a telescope. So therefore, Saturn was a ruler of Aquarius and Capricorn. I'm sorry, Jupiter ruled Pisces as well. Venus is exalted in Pisces. I'm sorry. Jupiter rules Pisces in ancient astrology. Jupiter rules Sag. So the discovery of Neptune. Oh, wait a minute. Neptune actually rules Pisces, not Jupiter. Oh, Uranus is more Aquarian than Saturn. Mars and Scorpio. Oh, wait a minute. Pluto is more Scorpion than Mars. So they say Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury. Neptune is a higher octave of Venus. And Pluto is a higher octave of Mars. Okay. Well, gracias. Thank you, Miss Eminem. Yeah, man. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. All righty. All right, man. So it's 8:20. I gotta go feed little kids. They ain't little kids, but they're waiting on me. Get something started, make this phone call. And yeah, man. Look forward to seeing y'all, man. Really look forward to seeing y'all. And join me sometimes, man. Family Wealth Club is where I'm at, spending a lot of my time these days, really focusing in on wealth and using these principles of meditation and visualization and midnight earth magnetic field on certain days to deal with amplifying our goals, right? And then also, we got, black people have a severe trauma that's called a poverty gene that comes from slavery. So we need to reformat our memories and deal with family wealth from the realm of the imagination. And maybe I'm going to do something called, I got it right here, called the quantum eraser. It's really the cosmic eraser. The moon is a space-time accelerator. Just look at it. Look how fast it moves. You got to wait till July 4th every year to celebrate, when the sun and Sirius is together right here, 13, 14 degrees Cancer. The moon is right there once a month. So the moon is actually a space-time accelerator. And we're supposed to use the moon to bounce ideas off of and send thoughts to so it could reverberate back through the ether. And then that signal and all these waves, like communication waves and all the thing, finds this appropriate host, and then that host magically appears in your life. So we're supposed to be magical beings using the moon as a space-time accelerator, but using the moon to erase the traumas that we have in our life. I want y'all to watch the video that I did on PNB Rock, the young boy from Philly. Like, seriously, man, this dude was in 2 accidents, one in 2018 and then one in January this year. And both times he was in an accident, I point out that his first accident was, I don't know, I think Mars was in the same place where Saturn was when he was born. And then in his last accident, Saturn is coming back to where it was when he was born. Why do you keep having accidents? And I show how both energies represent accidents. Why are you keep having accidents every time that an accidental planet happens to be in the same space where an accidental planet was when you were born? You're responding to this area of space. So therefore, what you really should do, and I'm giving y'all a game because I love y'all, you really have to use the power of your mind and positive thinking. That's what we say, right? And you have to time it with the moon in the specific area that denotes what you're aiming for to manifest what you want. She's a space-time accelerator, okay? Instead of waiting a whole year to deal with it. If you're waiting on Mars, you got to wait 2 years. If you're waiting on Saturn to come back, that's every 28 to 30 years. The further you go away from the sun, the further it takes for you to deal with the energy coming back to the exact same space, because these planets take a long time to travel. Venus, you can hit it once a year. Mercury, you can hit it once a year. Jupiter, every 12 years to be right back in the same spot. Mars, 2 years. The moon, once a month. There's your space-time accelerator right there. Okay? All right, man. All right. Why you keep on thinking that in these books, there's plenty of books on moon magic and the witches and the moons and all this moon magic stuff. All right. But here's the kicker. I don't like really talking about that moon stuff. Don't you dare start getting off on this moon thing like oh, the full moon and the moon. You drive yourself crazy. Lunar, lunatic. Okay. She moves entirely too fast for you to be you want to stay grounded and concentrated on one thing and manifest one step at a time. See, let me be clear about this. I want to be very clear and I'm out of here. It could be a full moon in Leo a week ago, whatever, right? And then let's just say full moon in Leo, this is an excellent time for you to come to fruition with love, life, and children and have some fun and romance. Okay. And then 2 weeks later, it's going to be the new moon in Aquarius. Oh, it's time for you to start something new with a group of people, group of friends. Okay. And then 2 weeks later, it's going to be the full moon in Virgo. Oh man, this is an excellent time for you to do a colonics and stuff like that.
which it is cool. And 2 weeks later, it's the new moon in Pisces. Oh, now it's time for you to go ahead and start a new relationship with spirituality and start doing new meditations. And so every 2 weeks, the major moon phases, new moon and full moon, change from sign to sign, totally opposite. And every month, there's a different thing that you're concentrating on. You're not about to manifest 12 different things doing a meditation, and this shit is changing every 20, 28, 29 days. I refuse to believe that. And therefore, it adds to the pressure that your day-to-day pressures got going on, and you drive yourself crazy. You have to focus on the goal, man. What is the goal? And I'm not saying the goal is not multifaceted. So what we talked about last night in the Family Wealth Club at a vision board party was, what is your basic four? Because everybody got a cross. When you look at a birth chart, you're going to see a horizontal line, the AC/DC. AC is your self-appearance, self. DC is your relationship. Then you're going to see a vertical line. At the top, that's MC, career and success. And at the bottom is home life, family. Maybe you need to focus on self, which self could be health, preservation, things of that nature, love life, family, and career and success. Let me focus on my four basics, because you do have four lobes in the brain and you have four chambers in your heart. And it's only four blood types. 8 if we put the allele plus negative on there, but it's four blood types: A, B, and O, right? And so 4 blood types, okay? 4 directions, 4 different types of hemoglobin inside of the blood. So 4 blood types going through the 4 chambers of the heart, and the family unit can only consist of 4 before it repeats itself all over again. Daddy, mom, son, daughter. Anybody else? Am I missing something? Because it's just about to repeat itself again, which is the ancient text, the sacred name of the Lord, the tetragrammaton, Yod He Wah He. You see what I'm saying? So this basic 4 is a component of what we're made of. That 4 is a square. 4 squares make what? Or 4 corners in a square makes what? The foundation, the building block to build your pyramid. Don't get it twisted. Your pyramid is this, but the base of that pyramid is a square. So that you standing on your square is understanding the basic 4 components that make us who we are. You did, which now could get fragmented into 4 elements of the zodiac signs: fire, air, earth, and water. So figure out what your basic 4 is and build off of that. All right. All right, man. Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, man. And see you later. All right. Peace.